What's up everybody? My name is Vincent. Welcome to Cryptolution, where we talk about everything under the moon in the crypto universe. Today's Thursday, February 26th. Now, in today's dog video, I want to share with you what's happening on chain. Now, this video, more specifically, is going to be focusing on data. Now, the data will actually help you understand the demand in runes, but more specifically, dog transactions. Because what we've seen over the whole runes protocol is that dog has actually consumed 85% of those transactions. And in terms of non-financial transactions, such as runes, which are built on top of op return, and also ordinals, but more specifically runes, make up over 44% of the Bitcoin network. Yes, over 44% as of today. So I want to share with you how Dog Bitcoin is performing against other meme coins since October 10th, how they're doing today, even though we saw this massive pullback, not just in meme coins, but also Bitcoin's price. And we'll look into charting analysis to see where dog dominance stands against blue chip meme coins. So let's go ahead and smash up that like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to join us on X. Please be careful with any of the scammers down in the comments below. I'll never reach out via WhatsApp, Telegram, direct messaging, or email. So please be careful and invest safely. Guys and girls, let's get right into it. Okay, so dog is back down around 89 million market cap. Now we saw a surge in price in the whole crypto market. We saw that dog hit around 960 million. That was as of yesterday. Now let's look at Bitcoin's price. It's down to roughly 66,000. It's really down over 2.95%. So what we thought was the catalyst of Bitcoin seeing a reversal, maybe that was short-lived, because what we thought it was Jane Street. Now, Jane Street could be one of the narratives that people think is the reason why Bitcoin was capitulating every 10 a.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then when that lawsuit did occur from Terraform Labs suing Jane Street, we saw that there was a surge in Bitcoin, meme coins, and altcoin prices, which is what you saw here, which was decoupling away from these downtrends. So we saw the first uptrend. And because of that lawsuit, we saw that Jane Street did delete all their tweets, all their posts, all their replies, even their media. So that was very fishy, but Jane Street is definitely under scrutiny. Now, what I saw from that reaction when the market was pumping is that meme coins were pumping much harder than any other asset. More than AI, more than DeFi, more than gaming, L1s, L2s. This is why we focus on meme coins. Meme coins are by far historically the best performers, and they capture the most mind share and attention. They're usually the leading indicator when it comes to interest, when it comes to attention span. So if you're ever going to see something move first, it's most likely going to be the meme coin sector. Now, what I'm looking at right now is the sentiment within meme coins. And this is all that this chart is right here that you see on your screen, which is where we stand in terms of sentiment with just within the meme coins. So currently we're right here at around 40%. Now remember when we saw a peak of basically meme coins was back in December of 2024, and that was roughly around 98%. So we do have some time before we get there. We did see a surge in meme coin interest back here in the beginning of 2026, but we actually haven't come back just yet. So now let's look into the meme coin sector. So obviously when you see Bitcoin's price draw down, you're going to see many of these blue chip meme coins go down. Look at Pudgy Penguins and SPX down 8% for both of them. Floki as well, Dog Whiffat down 6%, Bonk as well. You even have Dogecoin down 7%. We scroll down to where Dog Bitcoin is, around 5.8% to the downside. So that's where Dog Bitcoin stands, still within the top 20 rankings in terms of hopefully close to a blue chip meme coin. We're actually not that far away from flipping Fartcoin. In my personal opinion, we're not that far away from even flipping SPX, which is only 280 million. Just think about that. It's like a 200 million difference. Now this chart I want to share with you, this is specifically the meme coins performances since October 10th, which was the 10/10 crash that occurred during a software glitch on Binance. Now, when I click on Dog, this is the blue line that you need to focus on. Now, Dog is the second best performing meme coin across the top 20 meme coins by market cap. The very first one is actually Dogecoin. Now, during the 10/10 crash, we saw that Dog Bitcoin lost around 50% of its value, but you also saw that most other coins lost a lot more. Brett, by the way, the number one meme coin on Base, lost over 70% of its value since the 10/10 crash. Mogcoin down 57%. You also have Pudgy Penguins down 58%, SPX down 58%, Dog Whiffat down 59%, Fartcoin down 66%. I mean, you name it. But if you look at year to date, why is Dog Bitcoin the best performer? Because if you look at Dog Bitcoin, it is literally only down 9.4% from the beginning of the year, while everything is down even more massively. Look at this. We have Fartcoin down 59%, Pudgy Penguins down 28%, Mog down 34%. So to me, even though Dog lost value since 1010 crash. It actually was the second best performing meme coin right behind Dogecoin. Just think about that. It's the second best meme coin behind Dogecoin, and Dogecoin is the top performer, even though we saw a massive retracement. If that tells you anything, Dog is not only the number one Doge killer, but it could absolutely have a very stronger fundamentals than Dogecoin to flip Dogecoin compared to any of these other meme coins. Remember, Dogecoin has an inflationary supply. The supply doesn't have a cap, it keeps growing. Dog Bitcoin, because it's built on the Bitcoin network, cannot have an inflationary supply. It is set at 100 billion. So that's what's great about Dog. Okay, let's look at some data. So this is financial versus non-financial transactions. Now, if you're into data, you're gonna love this. So what have we noticed over the past 7 days? Well, apparently non-financial transactions, which is basically Ordinals and Runes. Ordinals is in the purple, which you can't really see because it's 1.82% of the non-financial transactions. But op return, which is basically Runes, accounted for 98% of the non-financial transactions, which is in the blue. Now, when you focus on the yellow, aka I think that's yellow, either orange or yellow, that's roughly around 55% of the transaction volume happening on Bitcoin. And that's financial transactions. That's people, sending payments, receiving, sending. That's basically what Bitcoin is, a store of value, right? So that's basically all you can do. But what's great about this is that this is a meaningful block space demand that follows alongside a 56% financial flow. So that means that Dog and Runes are not only contributing to on-chain activity, but they're also contributing to making sure that the network stays active. So here's another chart that I want to share with you. Okay, so this is active addressive impacts by non-monetary transactions. So non-monetary is the same thing as like the other slide, which is basically financial versus basically non-financial. This is non-monetary versus monetary, but non-monetary is basically BRC20s and also Runes. So as you know, BRC20 tokens change their model to a BRC 2.0, which uses an EVM model. But Runes doesn't do that. Runes just still focuses on Bitcoin L1. Because of that, you actually just saw over the past week, look at the spike and surge of interest. Now, Dog is a part of that. This is Dog consuming 85% of all Runes transactions. Now, this helps secure the Bitcoin security and usage. Just think about that. So how do we get 85% of this accumulating over the Runes transaction volume? Well, just pay attention to what's happening on CoinGecko. Now, CoinGecko gives you basically the amount of percentage and dominance of what Runes are dominating the most. Now, when you focus on today, what is dominating the most Runes transaction volume? Is Dog Bitcoin, as you can see up on the top. Second below that is Magic Internet Money, aka MIM token, that's 5.93%. So this is why Dog is actually giving a lot of security within the Bitcoin network as a non-monetary and non-financial transaction. Now, the reason I focus on data so much is because data tells you what's going to happen before the crowd catches on. The data tells you that people want Runes, people want Dog. People, especially miners, want to get paid. Miners will follow where the money goes. And the money tells them that the most validations that they get for validating blocks is coming from the Runes protocol. And hopefully sooner or later it could come from the Ordinals protocol, but it's not happening just yet. It's coming from Runes mainly. And if you're seeing Dog becoming the 85% consumption within the Runes protocol, then Dog obviously has the capability of flipping Dogecoin, since you've seen just recently with that charting over the past year to date and since October 10th, that's the second best performing meme coin right behind Dogecoin. So this is why you see people like this accumulating Dog. I always like to give a highlight to people out there that dollar cost average. Free speech, we also have Aldo, Dogsack, Natinos, Stack the Dog. Last but not least, we also have Spiffy, Dogsack, Hova Beta, Ed, Roy of Dog, and also Derek. So now let's look into Dog price. Dog price still, even though we saw that pump recently to around 96 million market cap, still is within a stagnation phase. So this is a very boring phase. Nothing has changed. And as you can see, based on what we see with Dog against Pengu's price, Dog is outperforming Pengu by 3%. And regarding Dog against SPX 6900, Dog is outperforming SPX 6900 by almost close to around 1%. But look at the entire meme coin sector. It's all in red. So nothing's going to really change. But you know what's really interesting before we close it off? Again, I always focus on the 200-day and 50-day moving average. The 200-day is still dropping. Yes, the 50-day had curved downwards, which obviously will extend, and it could drag out for a long time only because we're in stagnation. But that 200-day moving average line is still dropping. And so sooner or later, when that reversal does happen, it could happen quite quickly. So, I'm very bullish on Dog Bitcoin. We are in stagnation, a very boring phase within Dog Bitcoin's price. Now, tomorrow, I'm actually going to be making a video that is probably one of the most difficult things that people don't want to listen to or don't want to talk about, but we're going to talk about it in this channel, which is, what if Bitcoin is in a bear market this year? But the most important thing is, how can Dog survive? But not only that, how can it thrive and outpace Bitcoin and outperform Bitcoin? So that's a video that I want to focus on tomorrow. I'll try to do my best gathering all the information for you. You may see some similar slides I've showed you today, but you'll understand in context why Bitcoin could actually do very well this year, even if we are in a bear market for Bitcoin. Let's just explore that avenue, and I cannot wait to talk about it. So with that said, by supporting this channel, which I really appreciate, and it really counts with the algorithm on YouTube, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to join us on X to receive all of our alpha calls and updates regarding Dog of the Moon. Till then, see you guys girls next time.